like someone who's ready to tiki your ears off. Let's jump right in it, okay? Today, I'm going to talk about Mark Riddle, a guy who's been a major influence on my descent down the tiki rabbit hole. Based out of Los Angeles, Mark is a musician, an audiophile, a record collector, and a big fan of tiki. He's a self-taught vibraphonist and played vibes on the first 3 Tikiyaki Orchestra albums, where he also played the role of Captain Lush, if you remember those intros and outros he did. For many years, he headed up a Latin band under the tongue-in-cheek pseudonym of Marty Lush. More importantly, from my perspective, he also goes by Digitiki and maintains the website digitiki.com. From here, he launched the Quiet Village podcast back in 2008. That's 17 years ago. Over that span, he's produced 147 hour-long episodes as I record this, some of which went well over an hour. Through his immense collection of vintage exotica, happy howly, and related musical genres, I learned an incredible amount about tiki music. I go into more detail on this in my podcast's A Go-Go episode, if you're interested in checking that out. Now, before we go any farther, I would like for you to take a moment to go down there, click like, subscribe, and then hit that bell icon so you will get notices whenever I have new content coming up, okay? Not too hard. You'll thank yourself in the morning. Okay, so where were we? Yes. This brings us to Lahaina Sunset, Riddle's first solo album. Any way you look at it, this is an impressive effort. Riddle wrote every song on the album with the exception of one non-traditional cover. He plays all the instruments on every track. That's the sort of thing Prince used to do. But don't expect Minneapolis funk here, as the music on this album is steeped in the dreamy, ethereal sounds of mid-century exotica. The works of Arthur Lyman clearly have a strong influence on the music here, but fans of exotica can pick out hints of Les Baxter and Gene Rains as well. In addition to the obligatory final album for all the analog collectors out there, Riddle also made the album available digitally via smartly designed bamboo USB drive. The individual audio files are offered as lossless FLAC and Apple format for exacting audio files. More interestingly, there are 2 versions of the album contained here in the digital format, one with the classic exotica jungle sound effects such as calling birds and croaking frogs, and one stripped bare of the added sound effects for a clean, unadulterated musical experience. The first track I want to share is White Lotus. Let's give it a listen. Okay, doesn't that sound straight out of 1959? It's softer and more seductive than much of Martin Denny's music, but it incorporates musical motifs that hint at Asian influences. It's dreamy and mysterious, but strong and confident at the same time. I could see this one fitting easily on Arthur Lyman's album, The Legend of Pele. And honestly, I'd swap it out with 76 trombones, which has always struck me as wildly out of place on that album. The next selection I want to share with you is Tune from Crab Rangoon, which you've got to love, if only for that magnificently silly title. Let's give it a listen. This is a slow, deliberate groove with dark, moody feelings. This is a selection from the album where the added exotica ambiance, in this case the rumble of thunder, the hiss of rain, and occasional animal sounds, works to enhance the music and take it to the next level. The composition is understated and not flashy, but man, if you pay attention, it is probably the most intensely atmospheric music on this album. Now, the final track I want to highlight is Path of the Wind from the Studio Ghibli animated film My Neighbor Totoro. I hesitate to include this one for fear of YouTube's copyright police coming down on me, but it's just so good I feel compelled to take the risk. This is the only cover on the album, and I have to commend Riddle for his ear. The composition by legendary composer Joe Hisaishi, it lends itself magnificently to the exotica treatment, becoming both magical and uplifting and mysterious in the spare arrangement highlighted by Riddle's vibes. Now, I am compelled to imagine other selections from Hisashi's film scores for Spirited Away and Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind, and others would sound like when interpreted as exotica movements. I can't help it. You listen to this and that's where your mind goes immediately. The digital version of Lahaina Sunset also includes 2 bonus tracks not found on the vinyl album. Both of these are solid exotica. Riddle offers a vinyl/digital combo pack, so completists out there have the option to have their cake and eat it too with all versions. If you're able to overlook the crisp modern production values of this album, it absolutely sounds like something that would have been released between, say, 1958 and 1962. The instrumentation and arrangements have a vintage feel to them. It's hard to believe that Riddle managed all of this on his own with relatively limited resources. The sound feels dated in the best possible way. Let me give you some context. I rip all my albums and have multiple playlists so I can listen to the music on my desktop while I'm working. A while back, an exotica piece came on that caught my attention. I found myself thinking, that's not Arthur Lyman, is it? It can't be Milt Raskin. Is this from some obscure one-off album that rarely comes up in my playlist? Wow, it's good. And I check and discover it's Mark Riddle. Okay, the second time this happened to me, I raised an eyebrow. The third time it happened, and I'm not making this up, folks, this is the real deal. The third time it happened, 3 different songs, mind you, I knew that Riddle had produced an album that absolutely distills the essence of early vintage exotica. It's good stuff. And if you don't already have it in your collection, you should seriously consider adding it. I'll share the links below. Remember, supporting modern artists by purchasing their music is the best way to guarantee that we keep getting great original work from them. So, until we meet again, keep tikiing your ears off.